Hey, gang. We're going to read Matthew 24. Um, and yeah, my Bible's falling apart. It's okay. Still works. Yeah, Matthew 24. We're going to take it from the top. I guess, yeah, Matthew 24, verse 1. Then Jesus went out and departed from the temple, and his disciples came up to show him the buildings of the temple. And Jesus said to them, "Do you not see all these things? Assuredly, I say to you, not one stone shall be left here upon another that shall not be thrown down. Not one stone shall be left here upon another that shall not be thrown down." Uh, Now, as he sat on the Mount of Olives, the disciples came to him privately, saying, "Tell us, when will these things be? And what will be the signs of your coming and of the end of the age?" And Jesus answered and said to them, "Take heed that no one deceives you, for many will come in my name, saying, 'I am the Christ,' and will deceive many. And you will hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that you are not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet." Verse 7. For nation will rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there will be famines, pestilences, and earthquakes in various places. And these are the beginnings of sorrow. These are the beginning of sorrows. Then they will deliver you up to tribulation and kill you, and you will be hated by all nations for my name's sake. And then many will be offended, will betray one another, and will hate one another. Then many false prophets will rise up and deceive many. And because lawlessness will abound, the love of many will grow cold. But he who endures to the end shall be saved. Verse 13, pause right there. He who endures to the end shall be saved. Well, according to the revelations that the Father has given me, there's a lot there. What does it mean to endure to the end? What does that mean? That's very important. It's very important. I'm sorry, guys. I'm checking everything because nothing gets more difficult than to read the word of the Father when, when you're supposed to, and, distractions left and right. And I've been trying to start this video for the last 30 minutes. I'll just leave it at that. What does it mean? Verse 13. But he who endures to the end shall be saved. What does it mean to endure to the end? This is very important. Very important. Why is it very important? Because they're going to come and persecute you and kill you and your family. That may be so. Physical death is not as important as spiritual death. And then what is death? What is the death that we that we should fear, if we ought to fear anything, we should not fear any death. But what should be the death that we should be concerned with? And what is death? And what is it that we should concern ourselves with? Uh, what does it mean to endure to the end? What does that mean? We can't just read past that. Oh, because to endure to the end, and imagine I grab my sword or my, and and I got my rig on, and we have been training, we've been training in the woods, and we've been going to these night little training sequences, and learning how to start a fire in the middle of the wet, damp woods in the rain, and and we've been storing food in buckets, and all of these things, right? And that's good, that's prudent, and that's good. That's good to do. I'm not saying that's bad, but what does it truly mean to endure to the end? It's not so much, according to the revelations that the Father has given me, okay, in spirit, in truth. It's not as much as the physical, outwardly appearance of the endurance, the over the surface understanding of what endurance may be, as much as it is the endurance internally, the endurance of the heart. How do we endure? How do we endure to the end? We endure to the end by keeping an upright heart of righteousness in front of our Creator throughout all the chaos and all the madness that's going on. That's what it means. That's what our master, that's what the master, Yeshua, Jesus the Christ, is talking about here. He's talking about enduring, the endurance of your heart. Don't let your heart fail. Don't let your heart fail from looking at the one you should be looking at in the midst of the chaos. That's what this is about. The endurance of the heart. The Father will judge. The Father scrutinizes the heart. It's not so much the outwardly appearance of what we understand to be endurance, but it is an endurance of the heart when it matters the most. When a strange family of of a young teenage boy, and a mom, and maybe a dad, a soft-handed, no calloused hands dad from the inner cities, from the city life, that has no clue on how to start a fire or how to survive on his own, let alone help his family. But they're at your doorstep asking for help. What will be the upright endurance of your heart in that situation? What will be your action? Because out of the abundance of the heart, the fruits are in your heart. What will be the fruits that the Father will see that flow from your heart when it's time to endure to the end throughout the chaos of tribulation? If you are called by His name, if you so say that you are called by His name, this is very important. You hear the chaos, guys. We're living in chaotic times, more mentally than physical right now, because everything froze. Nothing can be trusted nowadays. You have the internet, you see what's going on. They're trying to bombard you, sensory overload. They're trying to get you from every angle. The reality is that nothing that you see in their internet can be trusted. To a certain degree, you have to take it with lots of grains of salt, so to speak. You cannot be You can't allow yourself to be fooled by what's going on in the world of in the world that is portrayed, in the world that is presented to you through your phone screen. You cannot be swayed by that. You have to look now more than ever and continually and always. You should be looking at the Father in spirit and truth. You should be going in prayer and asking the Spirit to give you the eyes to see and ears to hear, to see through the veils of the lies of the enemy. Because we're living in chaotic times. Chaotic times bringing chaos up here. First, they have to manifest the chaos within us so that then the chaos can flow out of us. You see, the devil needs us to create his own chaos. Okay. So to endure to the end, those that will endure to the end shall be saved. Well, what is salvation? What is to be saved? What is that? Why is any of this important? Why is it important? What is salvation? Is it to survive the apocalypse? Is it to survive the AI robot machine take over and in our little acre? Do you like on a physical scientific level with your blind eyes to the spiritual realm? Do you really conceive with the amount of information that we have of science out in the open, and we see these companies creating these robots that can calculate things at a much faster, extraordinarily more faster pace than the human brain can calculate, and the amount of things that the devil is utilizing clearly in technology? Do you think you can hide in any acreage? You, with your limited amount of resources, you don't have a speck. Us as the populace, we don't have a speck of the amount of technology or means to do the things or take the precautions in the physical realm that the government has. These elitists are doing the most. They're building underground, like tier one, super fancy subterranean facilities. They have them already. They have all kinds of stuff. There's plenty of reports out there to guide you to that information. Because they know more about the spiritual realm and about the things that are coming than the regular populace does. They know because they serve the little G God, the God Riel. They serve the evil one, our adversary, for one reason or another. They know what's coming. Do you really think that you will survive out of your own means and logic and wits and smarts on your own? You should be listening to what Christ said and is still saying today. You should be heeding the one that has all power. You should be asking the Father to reveal to you what Jesus was saying and what is still saying today, rather than try to go at it on your own terms with your little group of people in the woods and your pretend to be safety net against beings that way overpower you without the power that you have inside, that all you have to do is surrender all and humble all at the feet of the Messiah, and tell him, Father, I am powerless where I am weak, you are strong, and realize the God that you serve. That's what we should be doing right now. It's not going to get any easier. Eventually, these facade psychological operations will come to fruition from the imaginary world. And I'm not saying that people may very well I don't know which ones are true, which ones are not. I don't know which individuals are dying and they're being utilized as a pawn, and true in reality are actually passing away from all of these crazy situations that you're hearing online, and have been sacrificed for the sake of the storyline of the agenda, only to keep us at each other's throats so that we miss the big picture. I don't know which ones are real, which ones are AI. I don't know. But I do know the big picture. I know that it's all part of one big picture, and that's for the enemy to take hold completely, having us. If it's the hand is quicker than the eye. It's a magic trick. Who's into magic? Do you believe in magic? Who's into magic, huh? Is God a magical God? No. God is not magic. God is very real, and God is all power. The only one that tries to mimic the power of God, utilizing his counterfeit, uh, wanting to be power, is the adversary, is Hasatan, the enemy. He's the one creating the magic. He's the one showing you the tricks. He's the one distracting you here while he does this over here you can't see. The hand is quicker than the eye. Right? So, to endure to the end. He who endures to the end shall be saved. I want all of us to realize that it's better to perish in this physical flesh and be granted eternal life than to save your flesh here and burn in a lake of fire for eternity. That's the desire of my heart. So many times in this book, it tells us not to fear. Don't fear. Do not fear. Do not fear. Do not fear. So many times in this book, in the text that we have read and we consider to be sacred, we consider to be holy. So many times the Father tells us, don't fear. Don't fear. Because we are born blind in this physical realm. We are born blind to the fact that we are spiritual beings first, because we were created in the image of the Creator. So we fall into fear because we can't see. And the desire of my heart, the desire that the Father has put in my heart, is for all of us to finally humble ourselves, to stop trying to do it on our own. You can do as much as you can do without falling into fear, and then stop there on your knees in spirit and truth, in front of your Creator, in front of your Messiah, the one that you say you serve, and ask him, Father, I got nothing else. I got nothing else. Talk to me. Step in, speak to me, show me what's going on. Show me what I need to do. This is how I live my life. I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I have all the answers. I don't have all the answers. I don't need to have all the answers, because I surrender my life and the life of my family at the feet of the one who does. That's what I do. That's why a lot of folks may look from the outside in and wonder, because they are fearful. And they might wonder, who's helping this guy? Who is, he must be this, he must be that. How do I know this? Who reveals this to me? You might have a mole inside of your group. You know who reveals things to me? The Holy Spirit reveals things to me. This may come as a surprise, because a lot of people, especially those that have been lied to by the enemy themselves, that try to figure you out, may see individuals like me and may be wondering, Oh, this guy, he can't be, he's not, this guy's not like he's trying to be a superhero or something like that, you know? No, I'm no superhero. I serve the only hero, the one that you claim to be serving. I serve the same one. Only I actually have a relationship with him. I don't claim to be perfect. I may not, I may not do everything the way that I should do it every day. And that's me and the Father. And I try my best every day to fight because they both grow together, the wheats and the tares. And I try every day to humble my heart at some degree, at some level, if not completely. I sometimes you have good days, sometimes you have bad days, but I try to repent in every single minute of my life in front of God, because that's who's watching. That's who scrutinizes the heart. That's the one that sees. And no matter the circumstances or the blindness of others that may try to provoke, because they let the enemy in fear. They let the enemy in fear, and and they think that they have to get a leg up on you because you might be this or you might be that, and they might do certain things, you know, to try to get a leg up on the situation in case I'm an adversary or something to that degree. But the Father shows me everything He needs to show me. And you know what I do? I pray for my enemies. Not the flesh themselves. The flesh themselves are not my enemies. I pray for the host that the enemy, the true adversary, is utilizing to try to cause fear in my heart. Fear can look like this. Fear is not like, oh, no. Fear looks like this. This is how fear looks. And I intended to read this whole chapter, but here we are. Fear looks like this. You stop looking at the Father and you stop surrendering. You stop surrendering to try to do things out of your own means. You load those mags and get that information and tell buddy and buddy and buddy, hey, yeah, position here, here, and there. And if you hear something, let me know. So we can do this, this, or that, or the other. We got him. Right? And then the reaction on the other side, once the other side knows, oh, yeah. Oh, I see what they're doing. Yeah. No. You know who fights my battles? You know who fights my battles. The same one that's been fighting for me since I was born. So many times I could have been unalived. So many times He saved me from expiring in this physical realm. I'm starting to see a little bit more why, but I still haven't reached the fullness of my understanding of whatever fulfillment He has for me with my life. But I'm here. I don't need to know how it ends. I just need to know here and now that I trust in Him. He fights for me. He protects me. He guides me. And guess what I do? I surrender to Him for Him to do that. I'm not trying to lift my hand in anger. As a matter of fact, I learned from Yeshua. I learned from Jesus. No, it doesn't matter who believes it or not. I learned from Jesus. The Word is made flesh. Jesus was called the Word made flesh. We ought to be like Jesus. He is our blueprint. He is our guidance back to the Creator. We should become like Jesus, the Word made flesh. But we feed the flesh rather than feed the Spirit. We don't allow the Word to become flesh in our hearts because we want to do it our way. And anytime the Spirit of the Father comes, with revelation, we push it aside because we have too much at stake. What did Jesus tell those Pharisees? Destroy this temple. Destroy this temple. Oh, but and I will raise it in 3 days. Oh, but how this has taken eons to build, such and such and blah blah blah. Build this temple and you will build it back in 3 days. What temple was he talking about? See, the rich young ruler. We're so full of the riches. We're so full of the riches of this world that we can't see anything past that. How will you ever see the truth that the Father's trying to show you if all you're doing is building in the kingdoms of men?